adult language and mature subject matter, and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Good evening and welcome to the HeikaDelicShow with your host, HeikaDelicShow, right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email right now. Our email address is instudio101@gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and your host of the HeikaDelicShow, Mr. Michael Mantek.
Good evening, all you crazy people that have nothing better to do than sit and listen to our show. I'd like to welcome my co-hosts, Johnny and Terry. How you guys doing there, pals?
What's going on, brother?
Just
Are you doing hikes?
relaxing. I'm doing good. I'm having some pizza, some beer. And
You guys in Mississauga? You guys in the Mississauga area right now? Are you? Okay.
I am. Yeah, I tried hooking up over the internet.
Yeah.
See my lovely movie face tonight, but it's just not connected out here.
You just seem to struggle with this whole internet connection. Doesn't seem to matter where you go. You actually had a connection there, it just wasn't good enough for you. So how's everything? Good? What's happening?
Yeah, well, everything's going really well. My buddy Boris and I were making a lot of stuff for the frontline workers, making face shields.
Nice.
So I had two CNC machines running today, cranking out parts, and the customer's coming tomorrow. So it's pretty awesome.
So these are basically like full face shield you're making? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
That's
The big plastic shield, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Just clarifying.
And this guy, the customer, he's quite the character himself. He makes kitchen cabinet doors. That's his business. And because the cabinetry business is kind of hurting right now because nothing's going on. A lot of places are closed, right?
Right.
So on the whim, this guy goes, holy shit. He says, if I don't do anything in the next couple of months, I'm going to be freaking broke. So bought equipment. He's talked to us, and we've set him up to make face shields. And that's what he's changing his business over to.
Nice.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah. He's trying to crank out, I think, 10,000 a day. Yeah.
Right.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, it's
Well, no, I mean they need it, right? So that's great that he's doing that. A lot of companies are switching their tooling line over to do different stuff for the frontline workers and stuff, right? So like where I work too, we're making tubing that goes inside the ventilators, and we're making frames for hospital beds and stuff as well, right? Because we lost a huge majority of work that we do, which is a lot of automotive. So we started doing some other stuff. So it's good. It's good when companies can do that, right?
Yeah, I've heard that other automotive places are changing up tooling to make the respirators and all kinds of stuff, right?
yeah, a lot of manufacturers are doing that right now. Yeah.
This is the one thing I've been trying to tell everybody is, and I really hope Canada and the U.S. get their shit together now, because it's the most perfect opportunity to start making stuff at home again.
Right.
right? Because our manufacturing was top notch in North America, and it's gone to the wayside because of, well, pretty much because of greed, right? They're having shit made in China and Taiwan and stuff just to make more profit.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's only one way that this is going to get fixed, and that's when the government needs to step in and put tariffs on everything, right?
Yeah.
If a car costs, let's say $25,000 to buy here, and if you buy it from China, it's $17,000. Well, by the time it gets here, it should also cost $25,000. No difference in price. The tariffs should equal everything out.
Yeah.
And then people have a choice. Okay, now you can buy a $25,000 North American-made car, or you can buy a $25,000.
Yeah, but you're eliminating competition and you're restricting it by price. So you're not giving a choice, really. It's just buy it at a flat price. You have choices because the price is...
The price is still in North America.
No,
You buy a different kind of car.
Hike. We're never going to go backwards. Future moves forward. And if it's another country that can produce, like it just happened to us in Canada, right? We can't seem to build GM cars, fast enough or cheap enough. Anyway, Trump's got a lot to do with that. But at the end of the day, we're definitely a cheaper build, as opposed to U.S. But everything's U.S. made. Canada, we probably need to step up and have more pride in our Canadian made goods. And yeah, what I agree with is that as a Canadian citizen, you want to buy more Canadian, but you can't eliminate the rest of the world because they do the same to us. That'll never fly. It's unrealistic to think. Progress is progress. What we have to do is find innovative and cheaper ways. Like you look at COVID and what it's done, it's united a lot of countries across the world to produce. Nobody gives a shit about price. So maybe the idea of a flat pricing or some kind of balanced tariff, maybe that does somehow work. I don't see how it works, but yeah, you cannot shut the door to fair competition either, right? Like if it can be produced, and it's maybe instead of some kind of a tariff balance, maybe you look into the way things are made. Like there shouldn't be slave labor out there. Maybe there needs to be more unionized balance or something like that. I don't know, but progress is progress, and you want to be able to buy product from different parts of the world. China got on the bandwagon pretty quick and started producing and reproducing a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of quality stuff that does. Like, I mean, there are a lot of places that have cheap goods, and they're actually pretty quality goods. I mean, if you go to one of the dollar stores, right, you can actually, now I can buy Betty Crocker in the dollar store, for, I don't know, $1 or $2, right? I don't think we need to go backwards. I think we need to just, definitely buy more Canadian, but, maybe the answer is, and I don't want to pretend to know the answer because I really don't. The economy's screwed. I'm not even going to say what I lost in investments right now, but it's killer. It took some of those investments, a decade to get to where they are, and all of a sudden, wham, it's gone overnight, right?
So that's where I have the advantage. I never had any investments or had anything to lose, so I'm fucking winning right now, bitches. Oh yeah.
I'm winning because I opened my beer earlier.
You're winning. You're getting drunk. So what else is going on? What else is there? Anything exciting?
Speaking of drunk and drinking, I think we need to open something.
Oh, you got beer over there in Mississauga?
You got our drinking tin lined up there?
I don't have it lined up, but I'll get it for the next time here when you guys are ready.
Oh wait,
All right, there's no emails yet, right?
No emails yet.
Oh,
okay, good. So we're not getting behind yet.
No, perfect. So here, I'm gonna make a toast to everybody. All you listeners out there, my buddies on the other end. Cheers to all of you.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Woohoo! Yeah, that was a great sound.
I already had mine open from like 9
sure they open properly. It makes the beer taste good. We don't want to get a shitty product out to the customer.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So you got a comment.
Full-time sampler?
What's that?
Would you?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I would be a full-time sampler. I'm actually going to do that for the next hour and a half.
For beer.
Awesome.
Okay. So we have a comment on Facebook from John. He just say cheers. So cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Perfect. I like that. Cheers us.
Yeah, me too. Gives me another reason to drink.
When did you ever needed a reason to drink?
I never have. It just, it sounded good at the time.
So
Okay.
have you guys seen that crazy ass stuff on the I guess in the US right now, where there's some kind of movement suggesting that a lot of the COVID stuff is like false, or and then there's groups, I think, lobbying in, look like Washington or somewhere, or I don't know. I saw a Minnesota sign, but anyway, there's hordes of people, no social distancing going on whatsoever, and they're saying, yeah, there's a problem, but we want to go back to work. And I wonder, and maybe I kept up to the U.S. news, and a lot of your U.S. listener, you can comment, but in Canada, our government put out an emergency fund to help just about everybody. I mean, if you're unemployed, if you're working, then yeah, you're not going to qualify. But if you're not working, or recently, they've extended it to include whether you're if you're not on employment assistance or anything like that, you can still access it, and it's a couple of $1,000 a month, and it's so musicians now can access it as well. So it's a whole extended support offering, and if you're a U.S. caller, maybe chime in on it or let us know. But not sure that they're doing the same in the U.S. So I would imagine there's a lot of anxiety right now. After a month of social distancing, almost, we've people are running out of cash, right? So
yeah, I hear the American government, their offers that they're giving their people is not quite as good as what we're getting from ours.
No.
I'm curious too, as if they're saying, if you're a musician, how do you prove that? You just say, have a look at my bank account, there's nothing in it? Like, how do you prove to them that how does that work? What kind of papers do you need?
No, you don't have to. They don't ask you what your what your occupation is, but I think with people that are in arts and stuff like that, if they weren't making money or claiming money or anything like that, then it's hard to have it on your record of what they were doing. But
musicians don't get that kind of paycheck, right?
Right.
Where it's claimable.
Well, even bartenders and servers, right? Like, let's be totally honest. I mean, do they claim every dollar that they make? They make a lot of tips, and unfortunately, when this thing hit, if you didn't have a record of employment or some kind of income, it was hard to prove, right? But anyway, it's no questions asked, really, and no question asked. Like the qualifiers are very simple. But at the end of the day, if you're somehow playing a game and working on the side or fraudulent, they'll get you at tax time next year. But
it'll come around.
But I have to say, being a Canadian, that I'm very proud of the way the government acted here in terms of being able to set that up. Politicians who I weren't too crazy about in the past have really kind of stepped up, like our Ontario Premier, Doug Ford, and definitely Prime Minister Trudeau. I mean, he's kind of a face that regardless, we hear from all of them every day with an update. I think that takes a lot That to me, that's great leadership, and they're trying to be as candid as possible. Now, I do have a beef about, I think it's Shearer and all these other guys out there that I'm telling you, all they do is complain and anyway, they're being political, right? Political positioning. I could not fucking waste a second listening to those people because they're not helping the situation at all, right? I mean, action came clearly through the Prime Minister and our Premier, right? And that government. And even though it's a mixed bag, it's not a majority government. It's definitely a team that took action and went at this thing. So, you know what? It's not perfect. And the other thing I hear is, you know what? The government should have done this. The government should have done that. Come on. Did anybody anticipate that this was going to happen? Like this COVID, this virus is new. It's everything from the way it was created to the strains and the symptoms. And yeah, we weren't prepared for that, right? But the government acted on it, and here we are, right? So, and they're not letting up, right? So we're in America right now. They're talking about relaxing a lot of things, and the danger there, obviously, is what's kind of flatten the curve is definitely the social distancing. So. And we're not ready to do that. Trudeau's basically, they're looking at how to phase that in, but they're not doing it right now. And I think that's a smart thing.
No, and they shouldn't either. I don't want to see stuff open up too early and then we're all fucked again, right? So just let it go, and everyone's just going to have to hang in there and keep doing what they're doing. But I did see something now when we were talking about the bars and bartenders and stuff. Ryan Reynolds has I guess him and his wife have their own line of gin. And I guess they're donating a certain percentage of sales to bartenders and stuff that have been put out of work. Now, I don't know how that works, how that they would actually get that, because I know we know quite a few bartenders. But apparently, yeah, he's doing on top of a huge donation that he did for, I think, the frontline workers and stuff anyways. But I just thought that was very cool. And then I can see more of that. I know there are some big Hollywood celebrities and stuff that have stepped up and really done some amazing things. So that's cool.
Yeah. And there's a lot of music out there, right? A lot of talented artists doing different things, everything from podcasts to live, Facebook Live and
they just did that big concert just the other night, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It was okay. I mean, Keith Urban was on there, and he's a super talented guy, and then Nicole Kidman kind of hopped in as a cameo at one point, but he did that kind of video thing and then played every instrument in the band. So obviously there's some pre-recorded there, but it's so hard to do a live session on video because of the latency involved. And I'm sure there's technology that allows you to do that, but look at the Stones, right? I mean, they were kind of a little off sync, but.
Yeah, well, I didn't see it, but I heard about it, and at least I had heard that the drums were likely pre-recorded, but I don't know, I didn't see it, but, whatever.
Yeah.
Come on, you're talking about the Stones. The Stones have been at it, I think, ever since they started in the beginning.
Well, I think they were talking about, weren't they talking about their next tour, the Steel Wheelchair Tour?
Oh, God. Tour. My favorite one, I don't know if you've seen it, I put it on, I posted it on my Facebook, but Guns N' Roses were doing a live.
Oh, God.
They were part of a bunch of other bands, and they were supposed to go on, I don't know, like 6 o'clock or something like that, and Axl Rose didn't bother showing up for 6 hours, right? They were all streaming from home. And so I guess Slash was getting, at first he was okay making a few jokes, you know what, just have a little patience, right? And nudge, nudge. And then I guess about 6 hours later, Axl finally strolled into his living room, got fired up, and they did like a part of, I think, November Rain. And then he got all pissy and stomped away into the kitchen and sat there by himself, and they stopped the feed. That's so typical. That is totally totally typical Axl Rose. I wasn't shocked at all. I just thought it was kind of funny. Something
Yeah.
never changed.
Yeah, like
And in all honesty, I've loved GNR, I mean, forever, but I would never spend a red cent on anything of theirs, and he's the reason why. Like, I know a lot of people, I want to go see them live. I know a lot of people that have wanted to see them live. I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't take a chance.
no, I mean he's walked off stage so many times, but
Right, like, the guy started riots and everything else throughout his career just for being late, and I mean, I don't care. You know,
yeah,
I love their music. I'll listen to it all the time, but as far as spending money, no.
I got something to tell you about that, Tara. Back in the day when they were really going at it, I bought tickets to see them guys 2 different times. Once in New York City, and once in Daytona, Florida. And those concerts were almost 3 years apart. And I could tell you this. Both of those concerts that I bought tickets for were canceled.
Really?
So one in New York City was canceled because he had an argument, a slash or something went on. I don't remember, but it was in the news. They had a fight. He walked out. He said, basically, go fuck yourself. That show, they canceled that show, and thank God it wasn't a riot. We did get a refund.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago in Daytona, I'm pretty sure that's where it was. I had to pull my own ticket out. We're all waiting, and the promoter comes out and says, due to unforeseen circumstances, what's going on? So that's 2 times I tried to see those bastards in 3 years, and it was canceled. And then it came out in the news and in the media. It was all about Axl.
yeah.
Always is. Always is. I couldn't imagine. Could you imagine G being in a freaking band with that guy? Could you imagine having to deal with somebody like that? Not a fucking chance.
You get a new guy.
Yeah.
By the way, we've got some emails if you want them now.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
Gary.
Okay, so Pam writes in from Washington, D.C. She says, right on, Johnny. That's when he was talking about all the politicians. She says, right on, Johnny. It all makes a lot of sense. I put my politics aside right now, and I'm looking at the politician that is really doing what's right for the people. Thanks for your show, you guys. It is a relief to be listening to you here in Washington, D.C. That's from Pam.
Thank you so much, Pam. That means a lot to us. That's awesome.
Okay, John writes in, doesn't say where he's from, but he says, hey guys, I just wanted to say, stay healthy. That's from John.
Absolutely, and you too, John.
If beer keeps you healthy, we're doing okay.
Well, it's like beer, it's alcohol, right? So it's like a hand sanitizer for your insides.
Yeah, alcohol kills the germs, right? Thanks for your concern, John.
Thanks, brother. You stay healthy too.
That's brilliant, Karen. That's great.
Yeah, that could be instead of stay classy, stay healthy, Canada.
So Mike D writes in. Mike does not say where he's from either. He says, yeah, so many bands are doing that live show concert thing online. I've watched quite a few. Some of them are done really well, some of them not so well. But maybe this is a good time for you guys to actually do that. We would love to see Johnny and Barry and some other musicians do that so we can be entertained. And that's from Mike D.
See, so Mike is a frequent listener, obviously, because he knows what's going on.
That might have come up on here before, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Is that all the emails? G, is that it now?
You got one more here.
Okay, let's do them all.
Okay, so Patrick writes in from Toronto. He says, hello, gentlemen. Listening to your show, depressed out of my mind because I really can't get out of my house. But I'll tell you something that really pisses me off. Whoa. And he goes on to write. He says, when you look online and you see all this social distancing at restaurants and places like Home Depot, etc., there's a line outside waiting for people to pick up their goods. And that's okay and legal. And then you see one guy with a bike in a park for walking his dog with nobody around for 600, 700, 800 yards, and he gets a ticket. Tell me if that makes any sense. And that's what
I agree. And it's not just a little ticket either. Like, you look at the father that had his couple kids out in the parking lot rollerblading by themselves. They live together. and it was like an $800 and some fine for that. And I see a lot of that on social media right now too, where people are upset by the fact you see somebody at a campground just sitting around a fire, and they're just like, this isn't legal, but then they show Walmart parking lot that this is. So I get the frustration. Absolutely, I do. But I think they've got to figure something out. It's almost the point now where don't let people in the grocery stores. You order your stuff online, you pull it in, they bring it out to your car, so right in your trunk, and away you go. Something along those lines. If that's going to be the case, if this doesn't get any better anytime soon, you could probably see something like that happening. And to be honest with you, whenever I go grocery shopping every week, I'll drive around the whole fucking city and look for the shortest line out front because I am not a line guy. I will go home and starve for the next week so I don't have to stand in a fucking line. I hate it. But I'm also aware of the circumstances, so I'm not an asshole. I'm not going to go running over security guards like what happened, in where was that in Quebec? The guys at Walmart got run over, so
Yeah.
just got to relax. But I will take the time and drive around and look for the shortest line outside a grocery store and then stay back fucking, 6 to 8 feet.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What you gotta do is shop in little towns.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem is they don't want you doing that either because they don't want people bringing their coochies from a city into a small town either, right?
That's right. They're even telling people not to go to their cottages.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. I get it. I was reading, I don't know where this happened. It was somewhere here in Ontario. And there's a little cottage town, and there was a license plate. There was all these license plates, and they said they were from Toronto, so they could tell by where they were bought. I don't know any more than that on that, but and they were all in the city. And I guess some of these people went in and basically cleaned out almost a local grocery store there.
Yes, that's the problem. And then the grocery store stocking up for their local people.
That was
And now the local people can't buy anything because everything's gone.
Mm-hmm.
it was up in Peterborough.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that. And then you're looking at like any of the health supplies or any of that stuff too, right? Like, what are you supposed to do? I get it, but it's still frustrating for everybody involved. And that's just the part where we gotta, be good about certain things and understand it. So.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you go to the beer store, you buy 8 2-4s, not one, and then you're good for a bit. Right?
That's what I wouldn't buy 8, but I'd buy a bunch. I mean, I don't know if you've seen on, it's still frustrating for everybody involved. And that's the part where we gotta, show all the time good about certain things in our living room. We just had beer cans coming up over the couch and everything and said, this is code in quarantine. And it's honestly getting just look like that down here. That's why I have the lights off so you can't see all the beer cans everywhere.
Perfect.
Yeah, fuck. I'm waiting for that moment where I can take that back. I'm going to be able to finish. I'll be able to pay my mortgage off with all the empties I'm going to take back.
Or get free beer for the next month.
Yeah, I think the quarantine has got us probably a little bit more inebriated than we normally would be.
Absolutely.
Would you say that, Tara? Because I think
considering I was on not live on Facebook or anything, but what was that Saturday night, Ringo? You were fucking doing karaoke for me, all hammered.
Yeah. So
Ringo was just doing it up. We were using what is that app called? Fucking around with some house party or something.
Oh yeah, house party. Yeah.
And he had like a full-blown karaoke party at his house, and I was here at home.
Yeah.
So I went on and watched them all sing and fucking party and just hanging out and listening to tunes. I said, hey, sing this one for me next, Ringo. So he'd get up and because he's got like a full-blown setup at his house, right? So they'd go, fucking lights going and everything. And he was fucking hammered the whole next day, all Sunday. Never heard anything from him.
I was hanging.
I didn't think much of it. Then I get this text fucking later Sunday evening, and he's like, I feel like a bag of shit.
No. I said I feel like a bag of freshly cut dicks is what I said.
Yeah, that's the quote right there. Wow. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
So, Henry would drink so much. Usually he doesn't really drink a whole lot, but that's all he's been doing. So
yeah.
Did you say doing it online? That's exactly what he said.
That's what I said.
He sent me.
Yep.
Is that like a wallet basket?
Yep.
I guess, yeah, that's a good term.
I felt like a basket of bobbits. All the way from Missinaibi down by Blind River.
I will say this though, back to what we were talking about before, when we had some of the emails that come through. I don't remember what the guy's name was, but he was talking about doing the live streams, and a lot of artists are doing that, and some are better than others. And yeah, that's true, whatever. But yeah, I will say this: when this all ends, especially if it goes the distance, like they're saying here in Canada, they're not. Even if this ends in the next month or so, you're not going to see venues opening up. That's just not going to happen. No, they're going to gradually implement this to allow people back in. But what people need to understand, that if they haven't already figured it out, there may not be a lot of places to play after this is done, and you're going to have to probably continue doing stuff online, because a lot of venues right now are closing down. I just see, I think it was the Hideout in Toronto. Yeah, they just announced they're done. And that's not the only one. There's other ones that are now starting to come up all over the place that they're done. So this is going to do a real number on the music industry and live concerts and venues, and that's what people got to understand. I know I've heard people online. I was talking to a buddy of ours on the weekend, and we were talking about how people are like, "Oh, the music industry is, we're all sticking together and everything else." But I have one question: has anybody checked into any of the owners of these venues and how things are going with them? Because I'll guarantee you, they're not. And without them, you've got nowhere to fucking play. So when this is all said and done, I don't know what's going to be left. So as far as the music scene is.
Yeah, you've got people saying, "Oh, look at all the musicians sticking together." Yeah, they're all big number, big top dollar musicians. They make a ton of money. Yeah. They can afford to hang out at home and do shit like that for a while. And like you said, the people that own the venues, well, they're not making any money, but they're still holding their hand out for the rent, for the taxes, and for everything else.
Absolutely, and I know for a fact that, and it's across the board right into Toronto, that as far as like insurance, their insurance has doubled. Right across the board. So a lot of these venues just aren't going to be able to stay alive when this is all said and done.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Like, once, like, people, if they don't own their own place, the owners are still sticking their hand out wanting fucking rent. It's not like, it's not residential, right? Like, it's not how, like, where people that are renting a house or a mortgage, you can get a, it's a very different animal right now. So I'm just waiting to see the fallout of what this is actually going to be as far as the music industry goes. And I mean, look at what is it? What was it? Ticketmaster that's still not wanting to return all the money that people have paid for concerts. They're basically saying, "No, fuck you." Right now, I think it's Ticketmaster, and that's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. But the reality of it is, they don't have any money to give back. Yeah. So everything's fucked, man. It's gonna be horrendous when this is all over for the music industry and the music scenes in local cities and all over the place.
So I wanted to.
I think that you, Terry, and Johnny, and Gary, and myself, I think what we should do is we should open our own venue when all this stuff is done with, and then we're gone.
I'd be terrified to open a venue after this is all said and done. After seeing what it's doing now, because think about it for a second. You put all of your cash and everything you got into starting up a good venue, getting it all, and all of a sudden sickness hits across the land and you lose fucking everything. You know what I mean? Like, that's a scary thought that could happen, and it just fucking did to a lot of owners. Like, there's a bunch of them out in Toronto, and I know there's other places around too that do bars and restaurants. A lot of restaurants got hit hard by this and it closed up indefinitely as well. And pubs, not just music venues, but everything like that, right? I mean, if they aren't allowed to do takeout, some restaurants aren't built for that, so they weren't able to do it that way. And a lot of them are fucked now, right? So
Now that all figured out, we're going to call it the Bubble Lounge, and we're going to have these big giant, like Boy in the Plastic bubble suits. So you're completely enclosed. You'll have your air scrubber in there. You'll have a little tiny skinny tube that goes in your mouth. You can suck on your drinks, and everything's going to be this giant room, and they can jump and bounce around to the music and smash in and shit, and roll over, and it's going to be perfect.
And strippers. be very different now, that's for sure.
Oh, they'll be bouncing, that's for sure.
Okay, right. Hey, Ray, well, I got something to ask you. I was floating around online the other night, and I noticed something. If you remember this or you know about this, I'm assuming you probably do. I did a bit of research on it to make sure it was actually real, but back in 1971, NASA actually did training in your hometown for the moon landing. Oh, he's looking it up right now because he doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
No, I know what you're talking about.
If you're on Facebook, you can actually see him Googling this shit right now. Yeah, there.
Yeah?
Yeah, oh yeah. No, it happened. I was reading about it. I was just curious if he had any info on that. I thought it was kind of cool. I didn't know.
Just ask Google.
The reason they did it was because there's certain parts of Sudbury that are very much like the surface of the moon. So that they actually sent the Apollo guys there to actually do some training there. I thought it was kind of cool. So I didn't know if he knew anything about it or if he could give us any more info on that.
I can.
He clearly has no clue because he's Googling it right now. I have no idea. He only lived there, his whole young life and everything for years.
Yeah.
Born and raised.
Of the giant thing.
Right. Oh, that is kind of cool. I can't remember exactly where they said it was, but he's looking at it right now.
So
You're on Facebook with us.
so the reason it was a choice pick is because of the terrain is definitely a lot of rock, and so this kind of kidney shaped area you see on these colored maps, it's actually the Sudbury Basin, and the Sudbury Basin was created by a meteor strike. So you can
really?
yeah,
cool.
so you can see this little picture of a meteor because you got to believe everything that's on Google, right? So
Absolutely.
so that
I believe everything I read on the internet, so.
yeah, so I think I'm opening up some kind of crazy PDF.
Wow.
But anyway, so the basin itself, and this is why mining in Sudbury is so popular, right? This is actually a geology map of the area, so this is kind of cool to look at. Everyone.
Yeah.
So
I know you're not on here, but he's actually got maps up here on our stream. He's kind of showing us. It's like sitting in the office and falling asleep.
Okay.
But
yeah, so if you look at this map, so this area here, Chelmsford and Hanmer and Cape Riel, these are all hot areas for mining. So back in the day, Inco and Falconbridge, the original mining companies out there, were actually everything's like nickel rich and all kinds of different minerals. So that was, I guess that was spawned from this meteor strike. So this area here, Chelmsford, I live very close to Chelmsford. They don't have the little town here I grew up in, but it was Isilda. So I'm very much part of that history.
It's not there because that town is so old and so long ago. It's called something else now.
No, it's not. It's just not really on the map. It was so yeah. But it's so the rock. They felt that the rock would kind of resemble a lot of the conditions you would find on the moon, right? So
yeah, that's exactly what they said. Yeah.
Yeah. So the
I didn't know that happened. I thought it was kind of cool. I stumbled across and I thought, I wonder what the truth is to this. So I actually punched it into Google and a ton of shit come up on it.
Yeah.
I think it's actually
Yeah.
happened. So
Yeah, no.
I
It's actually, and you and I were talking about UFOs and stuff. There's tends to be a lot of activity up that way. But see this little lake here? I've got my pointer on. I don't know if you can see it. It's at the. Oh, I've got.
no, I can't.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
I'm looking at it. What is it a map of? It looks like a giant vagina.
right.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what it is.
Okay.
We're not gonna lie, but that's so. Anyway, that little blue area, because I've lost it now.
What the fuck are you doing now?
That little blue area is a lake called Whitewater Lake.
Right.
This little patch here. And I grew up, I had a house on this point right here, somewhere around there. You saw it, Terry. I brought you up there when we went on tour with, who was that? Anvil or Spengali?
That was Anvil, yeah.
Yeah, so lots of minerals up there, and it's it used to be, from all the tailings and everything, it used to be very barren looking land, a lot of rock. And then when I was a youngster, I remember them sending biplanes in, and it wasn't because, you know, they were planes that had a gender issue, but they the old biplanes, they'd use them. They basically got old crop.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
They got old crop dusters, and what they did was they put this kind of concoction in it that had grass seed and some nitrogen and all kinds of stuff, and they sprayed the crap out of the rocks, and this stuff stuck to it, believe it or not, and it actually grew. So now it kind of looks a bit like. Okay, well.
But I just want to say thanks to John for saying cheers. I see his picture at the bottom there. Had to go.
Yeah, we already covered that a while ago. Where have you been?
Yeah.
It's on the feed here. It's at the bottom.
Yeah, we know.
Okay.
That's been there for a while.
Yeah. But he's the only one on Facebook that's listening to it.
No. There's a bunch of people on Facebook.
Okay.
It's all good. Hey, G, is there any emails while we're thinking about it, or?
Yeah, you have 8 of them.
Oh, well, maybe we should get to these then.
All right.
Yeah.
Eric writes in. He says, "Happy 420." Hey guys, I'm Derek from Climax, Saskatchewan. Happy 420 to you all from your friendly stoner listener. A joke.
Yeah.
Here's
Oh, yeah.
He says, "What do you call money that grows on trees?"
Ringo.
And the answer to that is marijuana.
There you go.
Nice.
Thank you, Derek.
There you go.
Karen writes in from Toronto. Hello, gentlemen. She called you guys gentlemen.
Wow.
I know. What's up with that?
She hasn't been listening very long then, I guess.
Goes on to say, we are loving your show. Myself and my 2 kids are sitting here listening to you. You guys are hilarious. Love you. Stay healthy. That's from Karen from Toronto.
Awesome. And I hope your kids aren't really.
Yeah, I hope your kids are over 18.
And if they are, we probably taught them a few words tonight. And you're welcome. But thanks for listening. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Paul T writes in. Paul does not say where he's from. He says, "Hey guys, yeah, I saw you when you guys played the Oshawa Music Hall a while back. I was thinking about when and if any of these clubs would open up again after this crisis. If they do, you guys should consider doing a fundraiser for all the first responders, maybe at the Oshawa Music Hall or another venue. I think it would be a good thing for musicians to show their support for all the people that did. I think he means that did well during this crisis, and that's from
Wow. Yeah, well, that's cool.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Warren C writes in. Hello guys, I'm hoping you're safe and healthy. I got a cold last week and it scared the shit out of me. I called my doctor online. I explained my symptoms and he said it really did not sound like the virus. So I did not go and get tested, and thank God it was nothing more than just a cold. However, how do we know? Some people are reporting this virus with very little or no symptoms.
Yeah, it's fucked. I don't know exactly. Like you can be completely fine and carrying it and make other people sick. Like how are we supposed to cope with that?
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
You know, all you can really do is do your best to social distance and wash your hands. Wear gloves, I guess, if you're out, because there's a lot of transference disease that way. And they're recommending masks now, right? But I honestly haven't done the mask thing because I'm staying my distance, and I guess is it airborne? Is it not? Is it on metal for 72 hours? Like when we get shipments in from Amazon or whatever, I quarantine it for 3 days. You can't have your stuff for 3 days. So, and then I open it with gloves and, I do the right stuff and sanitize and everything. Luckily, knock on wood, we haven't got it. We've been sequestered on the Ringo Ranch for probably at least a month now. And if we go out at all for some essentials, then we're very, very cautious. But this is again my point about who are the real zombies in this apocalypse, and it's the motherfuckers who don't give a shit. And this is real, all right. And you know what? Don't come 6 feet fucking, or my 6 foot space. Thank you very much. And like I've seen a car actually. I don't know whether he thought I was driving too slow or he's impatient. I thought he was gonna, honestly, he made us, like, the passenger in the vehicle looked at me and the facial expression looked like he was going to try and spit over on my car. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So I have my window up, spit all you want, buddy. But there's no reason to get uptight. But if you poke the bear too much, you're going to get it. I mean, I'm just not going to, like if you're going to endanger me and potentially my family, then that's not good. But none of this should resort to or turn into violence. It should be people respect people, and we need to keep doing that. This thing up in Halifax, right? With the shooting, and they ended up finding more bodies. I think it was 13 that this guy went on the rampage, so I guess they have the one suspect, I guess, which is now dead. But what's that all about? Does it have to do with what's going on in the world today, or did this guy just lose his mind completely because of the situation?
Yeah, right? It's kind of a strange story because he actually made, I think he made dentures or something like that.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
Gabriel Workman was his name.
Yeah.
And everybody said, he was a nice guy.
Allegedly, right?
You say that about all these maniacs.
Yeah, I know. It was in the news a couple of years ago because there was some lady that had cancer, and he offered to make her free dentures because she had no teeth. So he made the papers for that. Right. And then he made the papers for this.
Yeah. Well.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, that's a bit of a jump, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what happened and why because they had to kill him.
Yeah.
And he just went around on a rampage. It was 12 hours long, and he killed 16 people.
Yeah,
Well, they think there could be more too. I mean, he burned fucking houses down.
Yeah. And
he had he basically put a cop car together, had the whole fucking setup. Like this was premeditated, 100% premeditated.
Yeah.
He was in uniform and he had a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drawing people probably into
exactly like a Nova Scotia police car.
Yeah.
Like, how do you fucking pull that off? Like, where do you get a cop car? Like, is that easy to do? I don't know. I'm just asking. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, it's really what, you can pretty much, replicate anything today, but what motivated this guy, right? Like, I'd be interested to know if it has anything to do with what's happening out there now, right? Because
what a lot of people are asking.
People could go, right. People can go completely batty. But on other news, I'd like to show you guys something. This is funny. Courtesy of the National Post online, I guess. I'm not growing pot. I'm searching for Bigfoot. Sasquatch hunter says he was wrongly arrested in Durham Forest. That's in my backyard. So I don't.
Actually, Ringo, that's the guy that got arrested.
No, so a Toronto man claims he was arrested for walking through thick brush in Durham region by a police officer who accused him of being a pot grower. So anyway, blah, 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 blee, blee, blee. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but yeah, I thought Derek might have had something to do with this, but
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. That turns out to be Derek. But mind you, he's listening to the show, so he's not in jail right now. Must Derek let him out?
Yeah. So, hey, it's scary. You can read some more of those emails.
absolutely.
Corey writes in from Las Vegas. He says,
Las Vegas.
We're in the studio down here, and we're taking a break. We are a country rock band, and we've all been living together, so we know we're all safe without the virus. We're recording demos right now, but we're on a break, and we're listening to your HeikaDelicShow. So that's from Corey in Las Vegas.
All right, Corey.
That's awesome.
Rock and roll.
That isn't by chance the hideout in Las Vegas, is it? Big fan of that producer. Anyways, carry on, Gary.
All right. Steve W. is in Boston. He says, hello, stay healthy, enjoy the show. I
Boston.
listen whenever I can. However, now because of the quarantine, I'm listening every week.
Nice.
That's Steve W. Bobby B writes in. We don't know where Bobby B is, but Bobby says, you guys, for rock guys, have a really good take on what's going on in the world. I have to admit it. A lot of guys in rock bands and who think they are rock stars are really fucked in the head. They're pretty stupid about the outside world. But you guys seem to really have your shit together, and that's something that's different. And that's Bobby B.
It's because we're not actually rock stars. We just play them on TV. That's what it is.
Yeah.
We just like to pretend we are.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sherry is from Syracuse, New York, and she says, I always enjoy your show. I listen when I can. Of course, I'm listening all the time now. I love you guys, and this is from Sherry.
You know what? I
Thank you so much, Jerry.
actually know a Sherry from Syracuse, but I don't know if that would be the same Sherry.
So, there's probably only one there, too, right? In Syracuse, there's only one Sherry in Syracuse.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
They're
sure
only
that.
allowed to have one person.
They're only allowed to have one.
Well, yeah.
No, they turned around and said, fuck this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm tapping out because then that would
That's awesome.
that might be a
I love
stunt.
our American friends. We have so many American friends that tune into
Yeah,
it.
y'all gotta just move up to Canada. That's all. Move to Canada.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
no,
Actually, I just hope you are doing, trying to be safe there. I know there's a lot of chaos there right now with everything going on.
yeah,
Be safe. Keep your head.
I love the U.S. I'm not crazy about that. Their dollar's so friggin' high these days, but well, it's kind of I don't know where it is right now, but
Did
anyway,
you see what happened with the oil and everything right now?
yeah,
It just made it like it's sitting at like they're pretty much they're paying us now to take it. Right? Like I'm gonna just start strolling up and filling up jerry cans and put my hand out going, yeah, you pay me out, some bitch.
I can tell you a little bit about that. Of course,
Please do.
I still have all my family down there. Born and raised, we go by a gallon, not a liter, but there's 3.8 liters in a gallon, so just round it up to 4 or whatever.
yeah,
Right. My sister said a few days ago when I was talking to her online, she says the gas prices, if you were to do the conversion to Canada, like per liter, right, she's paying 37 cents a liter. So she's paying $1.20 something a gallon per gallon.
Wow.
It would be about 30 something cents a liter down there.
Wow.
Just to let
Last
you know.
one was down in the U.S. Last year it was $3.09 a gallon.
Yeah, it's gone down quite a bit. She's in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Actually, there's a small little takeout restaurant around the corner from where I live, and they do like jerk chicken and stuff like that. It's a mom and pop place that I just love and frequent quite a bit. And I hadn't been there since the whole COVID thing, so I didn't know if they were open. So I drove by there the other night, and it's owned by an older couple, super nice people. And I realized they're still open, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just get some takeout and throw them some money and stuff, right? So I went in and I was talking to them about everything, and it turns out they actually have some relatives in New York City, and one of them is a nurse. And so this is for all the people that think it's all bullshit. Anyway, I think she's a nurse that actually does house calls, and she was actually helping out your mother-in-law, if I have the story correct. And her mother-in-law was ill, not she's just older and has other issues and stuff. Well, it turned out she ended up having coronavirus and was diagnosed with it. So the nurse was now, okay, now you got to be quarantined. Well, her son was like, you're not going to quarantine by yourself. I'm coming with you. I'll stay with you. I don't care. I'll take my chances. Well, they both ended up, of course, with it. And everyone's doing fine right now, but yeah, it's really bad. I know New York City's just brutal right now. And she's a nurse there, so, God bless her, and I'm glad her and her son, and I think it was her mother-in-law that got it. She's an older lady, and everyone's kind of pulling through, so that was great news. But it's a real deal, man. Like, just be careful. And don't believe all this fucking shit you see online either, because all these people you want to listen to, first off, aren't doctors, aren't scientists. They don't know fucking anything. They're literally searching shit online. And if I fucking hear that what is it they call them, sheeple, I fucking hate that term. And I'll tell you why I hate that term. Because you see these fucking cocksuckers online, they're like, well, you fucking sheeple, you better get and understand what I'm saying. First and foremost, these people that are calling everybody that aren't doing anything else but sitting on the line and sharing bullshit amongst everybody else. You want to get my attention? Go to fucking City Hall. Actually get up and do something other than share bullshit online.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that term. Absolutely hate it. We're all just trying to survive and get through this the best we can. Just, you know what? Love one another, help where you can, and be safe. Bottom fucking line.
You got it.
Wow.
And
Tell me what you really think, Terry.
I want to plug this place. It's in Toronto. It's called Santa Kita Fine Foods, and it's in downtown Toronto in the annex. I don't know what that annex is, but I guess it's an area.
Yep.
This place made the most wonderful sandwiches today and sent them from Toronto up to Newmarket to the hospital for all the staff that work there, free of charge.
Nice. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Just wicked, And there are businesses that are still open and they're doing stuff like this. Like, it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
I had to plug them.
Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
My son, he actually works for Pizza Hut, and right around the corner from us here, and he got sent over to the grocery store just beside him to grab whatever they needed because they were running out. Because the thing is, with a lot of these places that are doing just strictly delivery and stuff, like my son's store, they're making, so many people are like using it, which is good. But anyways, he was literally standing in line at the grocery store picking stuff up to take back to his store. And he gets up to the counter and the girl says to him, she says, you work for like a restaurant, right? My son said, yeah, I work for Pizza Hut or whatever. And she said, thank you so much. And he looked at her kind of funny, he was confused. And she said, you have no idea how many people you keep out of this place. By having these restaurants open, you're not getting as much of the traffic that you would. And if you think about it, like, they can make $5-10 grand in a night. So you think about that, multiply that by so many other restaurants and places that are doing this stuff. And people aren't going to the grocery store as much and, consistently like we normally do. Because a lot of people are eating out, and that is actually helping. It's helping, oddly enough, it's still helping the economy, helping some of these local businesses. So, if you can do it safely and have it delivered, awesome.
Yeah, and that brings me to, like, there are some good stories out there right now, too. And in the U.S., there is a fast food chain called Checkers. I guess you would know that, Gary, right?
Yeah.
You ever heard of
There
that?
used to be that's a fast food chain? Or
That's what I
It
understood.
started off with a pizza place, is what it started off with.
Oh, okay. There used to be a convenience store franchise years ago called Checkers as well. So this was a pizza place?
Well,
Started
it's a
off
fast food place. Yeah.
That was a fast food place. Okay.
Yeah. You know, they have the drive-through window and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this is just a story about some gentleman that drove up to the window and ordered some food, and there was 4 guys working inside the store. And he thanked them. He said, "Thank you so much for being here, for making food for us and all this." And he handed each of the 4 guys 10 grand.
Wow. That's
He gave
awesome.
them each 10,000. And if you go on Facebook, the video is there. Just look up man gives $10,000 away. And
Wow,
these guys come up to the window and he goes, "Here's 10 grand for you, 10 for you, 10 for you." And he just thanked them. I thought, holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the little restaurant that I know that's around the corner from my house, and I will give them props. When I was in talking to them, it's called Ryan's Jerk Chicken. It's amazing food there. They've actually donated gloves because they all, when you go in the store, they have masks, anything you want. And they've known people come in and they've actually donated a lot of the stuff. They'll go out and buy it and donate it to the first, the people that
Frontline workers,
in the hospitals. Yeah, absolutely. So, good for them. They're amazing people. They're husband and wife that own it. Ryan's Jerk Chicken. It's awesome.
Nice.
Oshawa, by the way.
Oshawa. Perfect.
The Schwiggity.
The Schwiggity.
Yeah,
Schwiggity.
amazing. Fucking love it. Jerk chicken. Oh,
yeah.
I'm
You
go-
love the chicken?
I'm gonna go look for Bigfoot this weekend.
What's that?
I'm gonna
I
go,
didn't hear that.
I'm going to look for Bigfoot this weekend. I mean, he's a master at social distancing when you think about it. He actually created it, right? Bigfoot.
Yeah, he knows how to do it.
Yeah, right, eh?
I just want to thank my buddy Boris for bringing me a nice cold beer. Thanks, pal. Looking at
Oh,
me.
you're not alone. I just got, well, so what's, you got a guest there with you, Heiko? Well, it's a dude, right? So,
I'm a guest.
you're a guest. Oh, you sit at his place. Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. He is the guy you're working with, right?
Boris.
Yeah.
Doing the masks? That's awesome.
And we're
You guys are killing it.
social distancing. We're across the living room from each other.
Boris.
He puts the beer on the floor, just kicks it, and rolls all the way across the beer, and then I have to wait for a while to open it, otherwise it will explode all over the place.
Nice.
Right. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Unlike Ringo, when you go to his office and he gets you beer, he shakes the fuck out of it in the other room and then hands it to you.
Yeah, well, you gotta.
Hey, there's another lovely story I heard too from New York City. There was a sanitation worker, his name is James McGovern. He treated all the hardworking healthcare workers that were on the COVID virus front line by opening a bar, and it was his car that he transported into like a booze cabinet last Friday, and all the nurses and doctors that came out of the hospital, he gave them all free cocktails. Isn't that neat?
That is pretty awesome. I wish somebody would show up to my work and give me free cocktails. That's fucking bullshit.
Wow.
Well, I heard you got into the cocktails, just
No, I just, if you show up to my work, give me beer. Let's just go there.
Okay, sounds good.
So, on other.
Today,
420, bitches.
I know, I got all these texts this morning, and I got this, happy 420, happy 420. So I'm like, yeah, okay, and all the emails and texts that I got, I answered the back, and I texted back, Z Kyle. And then I got my question marks and what and everything, and everybody was confused. And I said, well, what the hell are you talking about, 420? 420 is Hitler's birthday. And they
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. And they're going, oh, no, it's marijuana day. I said, oh.
Yeah, you're a little bit off, Heiko. Of course you'd fucking say that. Well, in celebration, I got a gummy. I'm taking this mofo right now. You do that? Nice. Oh, yeah.
Earlier.
Oh, that's
I'm
good.
going to be able to do the show.
Sleeping in the
You know
back.
whose birthday was today? Besides the Chancellor.
It wasn't mine. I know that much.
Napoleon III, the Emperor of the Second French Empire, 1808. Pretty cool, huh?
All right. Yeah.
And the other one is Carmen Electra. You know who Carmen Electra is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course I do.
Of course, see, you do. A lot of people don't know that. That's the American Hockey Board in 1972.
Hockey, yeah.
Do you know her real name?
No, I actually don't.
It's Tara Lee Patrick. And it's funny.
There's a hot name on one.
Yeah. They said she was a singer and an actress and a dancer. And dancer, like, quotations, yeah, I know what kind of dancer. But I thought...
Well, I don't know if she still is, but she was married to Dave, was it Lombardo? No. What's his name? The guitar player that was in... fuck is the band name? Completely slipped my mind now. Amazing guitar player. He used to... they sang the song Cut Cop Stealing. What the fuck is the name of that band?
Oh, yeah.
Huge in the 90s, but anyways, they had a reality radio. They had a reality TV show years ago. Together, what the fuck was it called? Oh man, somebody's on Facebook that knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Post it so I don't feel like I'm crazy.
Yes.
Yeah,
or something.
or email us if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah.
But it's funny.
Yeah, Carmel.
In the thing that I read, it said actress. And I said, what the hell movies was she in? So I went on the data.
She was in a lot of movies.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Series 4.
Yeah, oh, I remember. She was the one running across the lawn in her panties. That was great.
Yeah.
That was a great scene. That was probably the only scene I remember out of the movie, oddly enough.
Yeah. You ever meet the Spartans? Dracula?
Yeah.
Book of Fire? And then this one made me laugh. It's called Come Ghost.
So I'm gonna go on a limb here and assume that wasn't like, big media push on that one.
No, I don't think that's the one you went with. It up Flex the Sea.
No, that might have been one of her first movies, actually.
Come Ghost. Nice.
Is this spelled C-U-M, by the way?
Yes, it is.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that was porn. Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Give me more email, Gary.
We do have more emails.
All right, let's hear them.
All right, Mitch H. is from Whitby, Ontario. I saw the bands at the music hall when you guys did some shows back there. Another fan who saw you guys.
Awesome.
Cool.
Hoping all of you and your families are staying safe. The entertainment business as we know it is in the toilet right now. But hey, what are you going to do? That's a miss.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing we can do right now.
Yeah.
But thanks, Mitch. That's awesome.
Thanks, Mitch.
Ryan writes in, he says, first-time listener, doesn't say where he's from, but he says, in all the conversation that you guys are having, let's thank the first responders. They are the best.
Yeah, 100%. If you're on Facebook, actually, Ringo's had a thing up earlier. Or is it up? No, it was up earlier thanking everybody. So, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. All first responders, because that's a tough gig, man.
Well, first responders, and I'll get it up here again, but it's thank you for all the frontline workers and all of the restaurant workers and grocery store workers who keep us fed. So if you're on reality radio and not tuned in to Facebook, we have that posted on the Facebook site and YouTube as well. But the other thing, though, is we want to thank our audience on our socials and those that bridge from reality radio to our Facebook. The HeikaDelic Show reached over 1,000 likes last week. We're well over that. I think last night, in fact, we had 42 new likes. I opened it up this morning, 141 more. So this is now. Well, they like our.
I'm going to assume it's probably me.
Your image, Heiko, your image is static on there, but I think it's because Terry and I are pretty much live, and it's a combination of a body of a Greek god and a voice of an angel. You just really can't go wrong, right?
keep a straight face on that one, Ringo. Good call, though.
Yeah.
So
But you know what?
imagine if Hike.
What Ringo's saying, thank you to all our reality, 101 listeners as well, because without his,
Yeah.
it's not happening, right?
No, that's.
And all our socials, all in reality. Thank everybody. If you're on Reality Radio, please go over, give us a like on Facebook. And Ringo, what is the YouTube? Because now we're streaming live to YouTube as well.
Yeah, so YouTube we'll get some more specific links out because it's so new right now that if you look at try and find Level Zero Productions and put in the show date, it'll come up on there. So we're gonna file some content over there. And once we do that, it'll be easier to find in the Google searches. So we got to set up all kinds of tags and stuff.
Yeah, because we want to upload basically as many of our shows that we've had.
Yeah.
We want to get them up on our YouTube page.
The other easy way to get there should be to go to our website, which is www.theheikadelicshow.com and theheikadelicshow.ca. And if you go in there and you go over to the media section, you'll see a direct link to our YouTube social as well. So we're also on Instagram, but our Instagram site right now we're gonna start reskinning and developing that a bit more. But
absolutely.
That's.
But if you are interested, you like reskinning. Yeah, it stood out to me, not gonna lie. But if you are interested, you just look. If you're on Instagram, look up the HeikaDelic Show on Instagram. We are there as well. So, anyways, back to Gary. I want to hear more of these emails.
More emails.
All right. And of course, Derek, whatever writes it, he says the guy you're thinking of is Dave Navarro.
That's it. Thank you. Oh my God, that totally slipped my mind. Brilliant guitar player. Yes. Very good. Did he say his band? I'm trying to remember the band. Okay. It'll come to me.
Derek came back.
Keisha writes in. It's Keisha from Barrie. I was one of the ones that sent in the happy 420 text to my dad today. Responded with something like, "Seek help."
What the fuck does that even mean, Heiko?
We don't.
You German fucker.
Yeah. Sorry. Had to be done.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gary.
Okay, she goes on to say, it is bad that I just accepted that as a normal. She's wait a minute. She's asking the question. Is it bad that I just accepted that? Okay.
No, it's not.
Had a drink today and celebrated at 4:20 p.m. That's when I found out it was also Hitler's birthday. Thanks for the history lesson, Dad. Laugh out loud.
Daddy-o.
I want to thank all the first responders, especially my stepmom, Alana. She's my freaking hero.
Yes, she is, man. She's amazing.
Love Alana. She's amazing. She absolutely is. And I'll say this, Heiko, you guys are 100% just like two peas in a pod, if you will. Like you guys are. I'd always wondered, Heiko's gonna have to have somebody pretty amazing, and she's like, you guys are so much alike, yet the same kind of personality, same kind of humor. Good time.
Yeah. See, I never thought you would ever say two peas in a pod. I thought you'd say like the balls in the nutsack or something like that.
You know what? I've had a few beers at this point. Don't judge me.
2 leaves on a pot plant. Dave Navarro, by the way, is the musician you were talking about, right? So he played in. He was with Jane's Addiction.
Jane's Addiction.
Yeah.
Oh man, I knew that, and it just on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, very cool band.
Any more emails, Gary?
Yes, sir.
Let's keep going.
Okay, so we got one from Kathy, who wrote it a while ago. She's from Seattle, Washington, and she says, you know what? Amen, Terry, when it comes to sheeple. She says, I hate that term as well. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
She said, I hate that term so much it drives me insane. If you were here in Seattle, Washington, I'd give you a blowjob right now.
Oh, finally.
And if I was in Seattle, Washington, I'd accept.
Well, you
wow.
Just saying.
You know,
I just saw Terry's Facebook screen and he ran out of the picture with his car keys in his hand.
Yeah, I got my earbuds in. I'm gone.
Oh,
I'm heading to Seattle, bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do fucking think.
Any more, Gary?
yes, 2 more. Nate writes in. Nate writes in, the first time listener from Toronto. You guys are fucked.
Yes, we are. Thanks, Nate.
Okay. And last one here is from Lino. Lino does not say where he is from, but he says, thanks for remembering all the people that are really important during this crisis. We look to guys like you for some entertainment and some news, but it's the people on the front lines that are risking their lives every day, and that has to be something very, very scary. That's
100%. 100%.
yep.
And having my wife going out there do that, I can tell you it is scary.
Yeah.
The things I hear, just the way she is, I tell you, they are all heroes for doing that. Believe it or not, it's something not everybody can do.
Is there,
Yeah.
even though you guys already mentioned it, he said the band you're thinking of is James Mitch.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
My mind went blank on that one. Fuck me. Yeah. Anyways, thanks.
Thanks, Derek.
Wow.
So sheeple.
I liked a bunch of their stuff, but David Barler, but yeah, he was married to, what's her name again? Electra?
Carmen.
Electra, yeah. I don't know if they still are. Maybe they are. I don't know, but they
No.
used to have a reality TV show at one point. I can't remember what that was called. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I have no fucking memory.
So
Sure.
sheeple are people.
Which shouldn't be. I should know all this because I remember it.
Hello,
all.
testing 1, 2,
Or,
3.
anything.
So sheeple are people compared to sheep in being docile, foolish, or easily led. By the time the sheeple wake up and try to change things, it will be too late. Interesting.
Yeah. No, I get what the term means. I'm just sick and tired of people using it, and the people that tend to use it are the people that the only thing they do is sit on social media and just ram shit up your ass. And I'm kind of utter bullshit. Anyways.
Yeah.
Right? And I hate it. I just think it's retarded.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
No kidding. Hey,
Well,
Gary,
what I can't stand, what I can't stand right now,
10 minutes.
okay, cool.
what I can't stand right now is politically is our politicians Singh and also Scheer, all right, who have done nothing for this to react to COVID. From what I see, like there's been no where were they, right? And now they're out trying to take political position and bash, I think, all of the good stuff that our prime minister and premier have tried to do. So, you know what? That's wait, hang on. Here's my public message to those two idiots. That's how leaders lead. You take action, you go with it, you respond to your people, and you support your people. All right, you support your team, you support your you support Canada, and by coming out and using this as a, like, the one thing that Doug Ford said that was amazing, okay, and I wasn't sure how to react because I can't say I was a supporter, but when he said, look, we're putting the politics aside, they did that, right? Now Scheer and Singh are bringing that back, and it looks very self-serving. It's too fucking late, assholes. All right, because it you know what? They did the right thing. Nobody knew this was going to hit the way it did, and nobody knew the I think what Trudeau's doing right now is smart, and it's getting it's lowering that curve. It's slowing down, but you got to stay diligent. But yeah, it's sad.
Quite a while before it turns all the way around, and that's what we can't let up. We got to keep going.
Well, I'll say this: I was never a big Ford supporter either, but I will say this: you know what? He stepped up his game. He's done a good job through this. From what I can tell, you know, like he's been out getting, you know, taking his own truck and going getting supplies, taking it to the, you know, the people that need it, and you know, good on him. You know, he's really stepped up, and that's awesome.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I heard that today he took the power away from the union. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I heard that. Well, that unions don't have power anymore over their employees. Like
you're talking across the board?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Wow.
I didn't hear it on the news. I heard it from somebody else, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that.
The guy I was talking to, he said that he's in a union. And he said the government.
What's happening right now too is there's a lot of this backlash going on where, you know, people are questioning, you know, the timing and you know, the government responded too late and blah blah blah. A lot of blame, right? And again, that's fueling a lot of fueling a lot of political rhetoric and stuff like that. And you know, where were these guys at the beginning, right? I mean, I saw two faces clearly, as well as government, you know, ministers, but you know, seeing Trudeau, seeing Doug Ford, they were very prominent, as well as, you know, the health minister and so on and so on, and Treasury. You know, these people got engaged and relentlessly every day giving updates, being as candid as they possibly could. And you know, you gotta, like, again, I feel proud of that. I don't want to hear any political bullshit right now. So if it's about, if you're out there and you're listening and you're looking to politically lobby and try and gain some position, you're not. It's the people who got us through this that are leading Canada today, and they got my vote the next round. Anyway, we're not a political show, but you know.
No, we're not. We kind of got there tonight. We're really not, but
Well, I'm going to take us a bit of weed here because I have.
please do.
Fuck,
Here we go.
and it's about beer.
Okay, I'm into that.
You into this? Okay.
Yeah, hang on. I'm just to celebrate your beef with beer. I'm gonna open a beer. Are you guys drinking some by chance?
Oh, yeah.
Not you, motherfucker. I'm at the top of you. It's Gary. Is it Gary? I guess not. He's probably left. He might have left.
It's playing.
Oh,
La la la.
I can't hear it. So.
No.
Terry, shut up, drink your beer.
I'm trying, motherfucker.
And all you fans out there, cheers. Have a drink.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect.
Sorry, I didn't hear it. My headphones on.
Yeah,
My bad, Gary. Thanks. Good job.
Thanks, pal.
So, thank you so much.
About beer. There are
Yeah, let's do this.
Yes, there are still people out there that have to be working hard, making equipment and stuff for the frontline workers. So my buddy Boris and I, again, worked really hard today. It was 4:30 in the afternoon. We thought, you know what? We need a beer. So I ventured out to the beer store at 4:30 in the afternoon, and guess what?
It's closed.
It's closed.
Yep. Not all of them.
I drove down the street to the LCBO. It's fucking closed.
Yeah.
Then I found on the map, Google Maps, I found another beer store. It was closed.
Yeah.
I drove around for a fucking hour trying to find
They have
beer.
brand new
Heiko.
stores on their own.
Yeah, no. So Heiko, Mondays, yeah, they sort of rotate, right? And Mondays are definitely not the time to go out looking for booze.
Well, listen, so are you telling me now, hard-working people that are still doing shit can't go out and buy a fucking beer?
Yes.
What the hell's wrong with
Sadly.
this world?
I'm not disagreeing. And I actually seen a kind of a comical post on Facebook saying, how about having like a frontline bar open for frontline workers only, right?
Yeah.
And I'm good with that. I'm good with that because I'm still working. I'd love to be able to hit up a pub, but that's not gonna happen. But yeah, honestly though,
right? If you're working, you're not off till after 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I
had the same problem.
bastards should be doing is open from 11 till 1. Go have a fucking siesta for 2 hours and then open from 3 till 7 or something. So what's
The
working?
thing-
They're still go buy beer.
Okay, this is where I stand with the beer stores, and not just beer stores, stores in general.
Yeah.
A lot of these places, what they did was they decided, okay, we're only going to be open for so many hours, so they shrunk the timeline that they're open. The problem with this is now everybody has to get in during this timeline. You would have been better off to leave places open longer, and I think it was down east I heard, they actually extended the beer store hours, which would make more sense, right? Because now people can kind of come and go. They're not all just going, boom, we have this amount of time, we got to go, right?
Yeah, there's no lineups outside or any of that kind of bullshit.
Right, but beer stores, I literally went to a beer store, I think it was the same thing from you. I got off work because I'm still working, went in, and they're like, we're literally, he was the last guy opened the door, already locked the store. I'm like, fuck, that's why there's no fucking lineup outside. And then he said, you know what, oh, by the way, this beer store's open. So he sent me a different direction. Sure enough, got there, beer store is still open, barely a lineup, good to go. So they're all different. So basically, you can't Google a beer store. You can't Google beer store hours because they're all fucked. They're all different. You kind of got to just figure it out. And I know where you live, Michael, you're in the middle of fucking nowhere. You don't have a lot around you. I get it.
Don't you think it would be important?
I think it is. And then I recently seen something that the what is it? The health. I don't know. I don't want to say the World Health Organization. I don't think it was them that said it, but it had more to do with Canada. Like, we need to shut down the alcohol network for all this. And I'm like, fuck you do. You take all that shit away. Your cis tax rate's growing up, murders are going up. Everyone's just going to start killing everyone. You need to give us something.
Yes.
That's the reality of it. So,
well, I'm going to write an email to the beer store tomorrow and say that, okay, fine, you want to close it early so I can't get there? Every day, I want a box of beer on my front step at 6:59 p.m. Fuck
yeah, deliver it, bitches, and then just add it, set up. That'd be great if you could set up like how bars do it. They have like a delivery service, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine out in front of your house, you get like a big beer store, fucking big truck? I'd be on my front lawn going, yeah, bitches. Yeah, look at me. I'm the man.
Just drop the trailer in my driveway and I'll look after distributing it myself.
This is only being distributed to me anyway, so it's all good. Yeah, exactly.
It looks like we're coming up.
Your time is up. If you want to say your thank yous and everything, we'll get your music rolling.
All right. You guys have any last words there?
I'll just say thanks for everybody on Realities of Radio tonight listening to us. That's awesome. Thank you so much for all the emails. Everybody on Facebook that's been in and out all night, thank you so much for that. And just, everyone just please be safe.
Yeah. How about you, Johnny?
Yeah, ditto that. Everyone be safe out there and be nice to each other. And, as far as the politicians and, some of the ball busting we did there tonight, you know what? Just look at where we're at and treat people like people and respect them and put the politics aside. I'm seeing some action happen and I'm very proud of it. But you know what? If you use it as a political stage, you're not helping. You're not helping at all right now.
Shut her down.
I want to thank our people that were part of our show tonight. I want to thank John on Facebook saying cheers. Thanks, buddy. Pam from Washington, John, Mike B, Patrick from TO, Derek from Climax, Saskatchewan, who sent us 3 emails tonight. Karen from TO, Paul P, Warren C, Corey from Las Vegas, Steve W from Boston, Bobby B, Sherry from New York, once again at the HeikaDelicShow at 9 o'clock Monday nights on Reality Radio 101. 101. You got it, buddy.
Thank you for listening to the HeikaDelic Show with your host, Heiko Benedict, right here on Reality Radio